Hey treasures, welcome back to my channel. I know, I look different. I have braids. This has never happened before, and honestly, it probably won't happen ever again. So anyways, I'm not gonna bore you with the chit chat of what's been going on and why I haven't posted in about a week and a half, 2 weeks, whatever. I'm just gonna go straight into the story. So if you wanna know about the time that my mama helped me get a stripper, yes, helped me go on a date with a stripper, then let's carry on with this video. So this happened, I would say it was about several years ago. I honestly wanna say it was probably a good like 5 years ago. And I was, at that time, yeah, I was like 21 years old, whatever. And I ended up going to this club event with my sister. Also, if you do hear some noise in the background, I do have a heater like right next to me because my house is cold as hail, okay? So anyways, I was about like 21 years old around that time, and I was gonna go to this club event for Halloween. And it just so happened that I was gonna go with my older sister and a couple of her friends, and then my mom was gonna come with us. And yes, as you know before, and in my other videos, I have talked about how close me and my mom are, and the fact that I like to go to the club with my mom. Call me crazy. Anyways, so my mom was gonna come with us, and I was super down because, as you've also heard before, what this series is about, it is about my mom being a good wingman, okay? So my mom was gonna come with us, and it was gonna be downtown. So we headed out downtown, and my makeup is honestly bothering me. This eye keeps tearing. Okay, I'm back. And if you think I just redid my entire makeup routine, then you're wrong. But if you think under eyes and concealer and all that shit and put on new foundation, you're right. Anyways, let's continue with this story. So we ended up going downtown, and I think we went to this club at around like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, you know? And so at this club, there happened to be like costume contest. And honestly, I did not go there with the intentions of winning the costume contest. I went there with the intentions of grinding on dudes, you know? I was like, you know, dancing and everything like that, whatever, like with me and my sister and my mom and stuff like that. And at this club, there happened to be this area where there was like couches, and this club was really, really small. Like from what I remember, there was like, it was like one big room, but like one of the rooms was like cut up into, like the big room was cut up into like 2 separate rooms. And in like one part of it where like near the bathroom was, there was a couch. So obviously, you know, at one point, whatever, after like dancing and whatever, your feet start to hurt. And my mom, her feet get swollen really easily. So she was sitting down a lot, and I would be spending time with my mom and stuff like that too, whatever. And so let's get into meeting the stripper. I think I'm just going to call him the stripper because he doesn't really need a name. And honestly, I don't know his real name anyways. I forgot, I think. Yeah, anyways. So I see this guy walk in, and he goes to where I am because I'm sitting on the couch with my mother. And I see this guy, and he is shirtless, and I think he was like a barbarian or something. And he was shirtless and, you know, Caucasian, and he had like a brown beard, and like his hair was up, pretty much the basis of what my type was, okay? And so I just see like abs, and like it wasn't like abs where like it was like, okay, it's gym time type of abs. No, it was abs like, okay, I work out a little bit, but you know, I still have time for you type of abs, you know? So I end up seeing him, and I'm like, oh my god, and I'm pointing him out to my mother, and my mother is already, she already clocked it, and she was like, oh look, there's your type. And I was like, oh, I know. So when I'm at the club and I see my type, I do not, like I said a million times before, I do not ever shoot my shot. What I do is I will dance like I know you're watching, because you're going to be watching me. And I will dance, and I will wait for you to come over. And honestly, I would say 9 out of 10 times it works. And I get their attention, and then they come on over. But at this point in time, I was, you know, like dancing and stuff like that. And he had his friend, and his friend was like okay looking, you know, like, but I was focused on my stripper, okay? And at this time, no, I did not know he was a stripper. So I end up like dancing, whatever. And I'm like giving this couch the best freaking lap dance anyone has ever received, okay? And I'm doing it to the couch. And my mom's watching me, and she's just laughing and just shaking her head because she knows how I am. And so like at one point he like walks by, and he's kind of like looking at me, and I'm like looking straight back at him. And I think it's funny, even at this time, like I was confident that I was like, obviously you're gonna want me. I just think the club scene's so different. Like, if I was to see someone at the mall, it'd be like, hell no. But like in the club, it's just like you're pretty much gonna get who you want to. Like, you know what I'm saying? So he ends up like walking back with his friend into like the other room, and I go and I immediately go tell my sister, and I'm like, oh look, that's gonna be my man's. And she's like, okay. And so I'm telling her about this guy, whatever, and like her friends are there and stuff like that, and you know, we're all having like a good time, whatever. Her friends are like, my sister's friends are like pretty drunk, and I wasn't drinking really at this time at all, and my sister isn't really a drinker either, so like we were pretty sober. And so I was like, okay, I don't know where. And then she's like, duh, you need to go send our mother over to him. And I'm like, you know what, you're right. So I go and I tell my mom, I'm like, hey mom, you know he's looked at me, I know he like wants it, and maybe he's just shy, maybe he doesn't know that, like, I feel like a lot of like Caucasian guys like maybe like interested in like other ethnicities, but I also feel like they don't know if you're interested. Like when different ethnicities are apart and it's not like in a school setting, I feel like the other person doesn't know if they're like into that ethnicity, you know? So I was like, mom, you can go and let him know I'm interested. So I tell my mom to pretty much go, and she does, and then she's over there talking to him, and I'm sitting on the couch and I'm talking to this other guy that came up to me, because there was me, this other girl, and this guy that were all in like this army suit. So this guy's like, oh my god, I want to take a picture with you guys, like let's look like we're in the army or whatever. And I was like, okay, yeah, sure. And so we're taking a picture or whatever, and he happened to be with like these like 3 girls or whatever, and I guess like this girl was upset that he came over to talk to me, because the rest of the night she was giving me evil eye, and I was like, chill girl, my man's coming, my mom's talking to him right now. So I took pictures or whatever, and then they ended up like, you know, leaving and going back to their friends and stuff like that. And then my man came over to me and he was talking to me, and y'all, whenever he came over and was talking to me, he had a British accent. And I was like, okay, so I believe Las Vegas is like a couple hours away. Are you down? Do you have your passport now? Like, we can go there and get married. But I'm talking to him, and I'm honestly like, I'm having the best time of my life. Like, I'm pretty sure I was cheesing so hard, because I was like, yo, it was one thing that he was like physically my type, and then there was another thing that he was like verbally my type, because I feel like British guys are like super eloquent, and I'm so attracted to that. So I was like, yo. So anyways, after that, me and him were talking, whatever, and then at one point he was just like, okay, he's gonna go check on his friend, and I'm like, okay, cool, you know, whatever. And then I ended up telling him, I'm like, oh, well, you know, my sister's with me, like, let us dance or whatever. And I respect the fact that he was like, oh, my friend, you know, because that kind of sucks, like, if you were to like leave your friend after you find someone, you know. So I was like, oh, well, you know, he can be included, like, I have a sister, whatever. And he's like, oh, cool, yeah. So then we're like dancing, whatever, and literally like him and I are like holding hands, and I'm like grinding on him, and I'm giving him my best stuff, because I was like, we're meant for each other. And my sister's like grinding on his friend. It's so funny, because I do have a video on my Snapchat that I should probably play, but like I won't play because like my sister doesn't approve. Ended up, sorry, I really just like pierced my nose like the second time, and it hurts. So, and it's itchy. So anyways, so you know, after a while, whatever, like, you know, they ended up leaving and like going on about their own business and stuff like that, and me and him exchanged numbers. And I was like, you know what, it's fine, like, obviously you're gonna go to the club and like you're hot guy, well, he's hot and his friend's okay, but like you're like good looking guys, so people are gonna like flock to him and stuff like that. And I saw this other bitch that was like trying to clock my man, and I was like, no, he's mine. And you know, I'm letting him do his own thing because he's obviously not mine, but at the same time I'm like, no, I'm better. So like I was busting my stuff all night, because I was like, no, you're not gonna have a good time with her. She's not your woman, I am. I did end up getting like a few other guys' numbers, whatever, but like he was like my first priority. Anyways, whatever, fast forward, the night ends, whatever. I had a great night, my sister had a great night, and so we're going home. And I believe, like, I want to say we got home probably at like 2:30 in the morning, and he ends up texting me and telling me like how great it was that he met me, and like blah blah blah. And so yeah, so we start texting for like the next couple of days, and then he wants to meet up. And luckily enough, I went to school downtown, and he ended up living downtown, and that is when I found out that he was a stripper. And he was like, oh, like, let's meet up in my house. And you know, being a smart cookie, I'm not about to go to your house, like, I don't know you, like, that's not happening. But I'm like, yeah, like, I can meet you down by your house, like, by your house, and like we can chit chat, you know. And he's like, okay, whatever. And so we meet up at this like coffee shop place downtown. Like, I had never heard of it before, and I'm just like listening to him talk. Honestly, like, I can't even say that I was a good date, because I'm listening to him talk and I'm imagining what our children will sound like. I couldn't help myself. Like, I was like, can you just talk? Can you just talk? I don't want to talk about me. I don't want to talk about my family. I don't want to talk about what I'm in school for. I just want to hear you talk. So long story short, we are up the day after about like 2.5 hours, because he has to go to work. And I was like, okay, well, it's nice meeting you, whatever. And he's like, yeah, like, maybe we'll meet up another time, and you're like, come to my house now, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, to be honest, y'all, I was so down. I was like, no, like, I'm pretty sure this is what love is. So I would say like a couple days after we went out on our first date, like, we were talking and stuff like that. And then it just died down, and I was like, oh, not interested anymore, because I do that a lot. Like, I was interested or whatever, but then like after you don't talk to me, or like he started working a lot more, and so he was replying really, really slow. And if you don't like give it to me all, like, I lose interest really, really fast. So like, regardless of the fact that I thought he was my future husband, it turned out he wasn't, and your girl let it go. Anyways, guys, that's pretty much the end of the story. Let me know if you've ever thought you met your husband and then it turned out not to be. Let me know what accent does it for you. Spanish accent, love it. Definitely like UK accents, love it. I think even maybe like a Boston accent can do it for me too. Australian accent, I'm there. Thank you guys so much for watching. I can't wait to see you guys in the next video. Hopefully I'm not gonna stay behind. I'm trying to get, you know, like, catch up on my life, whatever, a whole other video. But love you guys. We're almost at 500 subscribers. Woo! So I will see you guys in the next video.
Sex is like a drug, I'ma be a dealer.